Amtrak's Coast Starlight. Superior service. Here's the train at Klamath Falls on the way from Los Angeles to Seattle. I was on the train from Emeryville going to Portland, Oregon. At the rear you see a couple of private cars, and there's the train being serviced and crew change. Passengers enjoying a time of walking on the platform, getting some fresh air and a cigarette. Now we leave the train. Now we leave the Klamath Falls depot, heading north on what is now Union Pacific, previously Southern Pacific tracks. That's the depot, which is used twice a day, once north and once south. Bit of a logging town. This is southern Oregon, elevation about 4,000 feet. With its baseball diamond, ubiquitous everywhere, and football. That's American football, not British football, I think. And as we head north, we come up to Klamath Lake, a very large lake, which at this time of year, January, would have been frozen over. Scrapyard. Many of those across America. Most people just leave them in the backyard to rust and rot. You can see Klamath Lake up in the background. Lots of farmland, cattle mainly. Southern edge of Klamath Lake. Lots of wildlife, many birds of different varieties.
Yeah, you can barely see it coming into view there. Oh, I see it.
We'll see a bald eagle in a minute.
Yeah. And the next big tall one coming up.
Water level's quite low this time of year.
Behind
Sometimes
that
you
is
can't see the
We have a
vegetation.
lady back here, the tour guide. They're just riding on their own. Okay. You want to talk to her? She loves to come up. She loves to.
I'm talking about double-decker cars, you should get a
talk
couple
about
of
what
just
you're
about.
seeing.
There's the bald eagle.
I'm going to swap to that side because that's the. There is one.
Oh, there you go.
No, it wasn't. Maybe it was. Frozen over. It's very cold up there at this time of year, January. Snow on the hills, the mountains. Now we leave the lake and heading up into some more farmland. Train runs at fair speed up this point. It's fairly flat, fairly straight. Lots of small communities. Our next station stop will be Chemult. Sometimes there is a narrator from one of the park services who sits on the trains giving information about where we are, what we're doing, what we see. I met his wife this time, who can hear in the background. change sides so I could see the Willamette Valley as we cross, reach the high point, Cascade Summit. This is one of the wires they use for turning trains rather than the turntable. So the track goes up to a dead end and they can come back in the opposite direction. Odell Lake. During the summer months it's quite busy with craft of various sizes. People do fishing. There is another lake nearby called Crater Lake, which is actually the remnants of an extinct volcano, but it's full of water now. You can't see it from the train, unfortunately. Now we're at Cascade Summit. There's a 40-mile downhill at about 2.2% grade, with the train running at about 30 miles an hour on dynamics. More of Odell Lake. One of the many snow sheds on the line. Yeah, they get a lot of snowfall up there, but sometimes it dumps on the track and it's very difficult to remove, so they put these sheds up to make the snow slide across and onto the far side. Those propane tanks are used for heating the switches to make sure they don't freeze up. Now we look down into the valley. There's another snow shed. I think this year there wasn't much snow, as you can see. Sometimes they get a good 10 feet of snow. So they use snow fighting equipment, Jordan spreaders. A bit like a snow plough that just goes up the track and pushes the snow off to the side. At this point you see the remnants of a massive slide that UP had a couple of years previously, when the whole side of the mountain came down and covered the tracks to a depth of about 10 feet and several hundred yards. It took them 4 months to clear. As you see, it's right in the middle of a forest, which makes it very difficult, but they did a great job in clearing the tracks to get it back into service again. This is the Salt Creek Trestle, where the train changes direction, and this is Lookout Point Reservoir. The tracks used to run through where the water is now, but they had to divert the tracks to build the reservoir, which is actually fairly low at this point. or farmland, sheep and cattle. Most of the population live up this end of Oregon, which is a lot lower level elevation wise than the southern Oregon. And it's wet. Most of the houses are built from wood because there's plenty of wood, or lumber as they call it. Industries based around lumber. You see massive trains of just lumber products going up and down the track. Now this is Eugene, big yard, switching yard, interchange with one of the local lines, a couple of UP locomotives. This used to be Southern Pacific territory, but Union Pacific took them over a few years previously. The one at the background, that black and red one, used to be a EMD S9. There you see some private varnish of railway cars. And is that I-5? I think that might be I-5. It's the run that is the interstate that runs from north to south. And the tracks we're on is known as the I-5 corridor in railwayman's language. And it's starting to get wetter. This may be Salem, the state capital. Not the biggest town. Typically state capitals tend to be in the middle of the state so that people don't have, well, when I say too far to go, but far enough. There's Oregon Falls, artificial. They were built there to provide power for the lumber mills that surround this area. Next stop, Portland. All change for the empire builder.